Yo, pulled up to the set when I heard that brutal sound of the bass. Start to feel like I'm dreaming, man, should have seen that look on my face. But I'm so low-key, I'm an anonymous G that I left no trace. But when I step 1 foot in the room, I'ma set this place. I feel like king of the hill when they're never gonna take my crown. That's the type of my sound, better rise up when I shut this down. I feel like king of the hill when they're never gonna take my crown. That's the type of my sound, better rise up when I shut this. Yeah. My God. Yeah. I feel like king of the hill when they're king of the hill. My God. Yeah, yeah. It feels like murder, murder. Setting them alight when I lit that flame. Try pulling up side by side for the race, just realize that we're in a different lane. Yeah, see I'm out here killing the game. How can you claim that we're living the same? See in reality we ain't on a similar stage. You're sitting in the crib while I'm singing my name. That flames, whole of the city on lock. The coldest flows and the cream of the crop. We've them peas with a lean and a bop. Got a phone line ringing to the heat don't stop. I feel like king of the hill when they're never gonna take my crown. That's the type of my sound, better rise up when I shut this down. I feel like king of the hill when they're never gonna take my crown. That's the type of my sound, better rise up when I shut this. Yeah. My God. Yeah. I feel like king of the hill when they're king of the hill. My God. Yeah.
It's really easy.
Yeah.
Hello, Repony, and welcome into Clear as Mud. How's it going, everyone? Happy Sunday. Oh my gosh, I had to look at my phone because I couldn't remember what day it was. My name is D.max. I am your co-host for this evening, one of 3 tonight, because everybody's either sick or bugging out or on the run from the police. Seth, there, we mentioned you. That way you can't be upset. Anyway, we've got fabulous other co-hosts with us. We've got Jessica Pizzle coming back from the grave, just like me, kind of, sort of.
Hi, I got a new mic.
Oh, and it sounds good. It sounds good.
And it does colors.
Ooh, and it's got that like you've got that like sick kind of sultriness to your voice right now, so it's like a perfect time to like be like experimenting with it. You got a little bit of that nasally going on, but yeah. So I'm glad you're feeling a little bit better. I'm sure we'll talk about it. And then Peepaw Reverter, speaking of not feeling well, geez, you really hit the wall too there, didn't you, Riv?
Yeah, the wife came home last week sick, and she went to the doctor, and they gave her that, where they take that bungee stick and stick it up in your nose hole.
Not fun.
Yeah, they said she had the number 19, the number 19.
Oh no.
19. Oh
and
no.
then, and then like 2 days later, my mother-in-law and I both woke up sick of the dog. She worse than me. She went to the doctor. They bungee sticked her, and they said nope, she didn't have old number 19, nor did she have the flu. She probably just had some virus. The wife took one of them homemade tests, or not homemade, but we got the at-home test,
Yeah.
Yeah. And so she did, whatever, and I didn't have the old number 19, but I feel like I like flu or cold or whatever.
So the wife has the 19. You don't have it.
No,
her mom doesn't have it, but.
No.
Well, I've heard that it like affects certain blood types. That 19, like certain blood types can only count to 18 and then they can't count any further. But certain blood types can count 19 and then proceed onwards. Anyway,
I didn't get it. I've had a real bad and sleepy but I'm finally kind of somewhat back on my feet and glad to be here.
Yay.
Yay, clear as mud. Can't stop us, except when you can.
Right.
So we're talking about Lolcow today, Lolcow Live, as it were, right? And that's interesting
was it?
because there's been a lot of news. What?
Was it really live?
Lolcow pre-recorded, maybe they should have called it, or Lolcow.
Well, they did finally have a few live streams, but we'll get into that. We'll get into that. So, anyway, go ahead. I derailed you. Go ahead.
No, I mean, I all I was gonna say was just that it's been an interesting roller coaster. For people who have not been on the bandwagon since we were back when this was like kind of just a glint in Keemstar's eye, as it were.
Yeah.
Just a little recap for what Lolcow is. Lolcow Live is a podcast consisting of Boogie 2988, Tommy C for Shot from the Point, and Wings of Redemption, host or produced by Keemstar. The original idea, I believe, did come from Keemstar. That's the quote unquote. And then they were trying to get, who was, oh God, I can never remember his name.
DSP.
DSP. They were trying to get DSP on the show. Yep. Darkside Phil on the show. They couldn't get it because he didn't like Keemstar, didn't want to be around Keemstar or associate with Keemstar, do business with him, whatever. There was a whole drama on trying to get the show up. They hired a really cool, fantastic editor to do their first couple episodes. And he did a really, really great job, such a great job, and everybody loved him. What do you mean? What do you mean, well? What?
Did you have some ribs removed?
Listen, all right. I'm just saying that, like, I did the best with what I had at the time, and I think I think that I did fantastic.
Ask the question. Did you have some ribs
I don't need
removed?
them, all right? I didn't have them since ever.
Because you sucked your own dick so hard there that I almost came.
Gamer moment.
No, I'm messing. I thought you did an excellent job. I thought, and you.
It was a lot of work. It was a lot of work, and
some of the stuff,
yeah.
like having to take basically two different sources for one audio recording to try to piece, and on top of that, and then
that was a pain in the ass.
And then you have like one guy comes in at like 2 gigs, the other guy comes in around 2 gigs, and then the last guy comes in at like 30 gigs.
Well, like, my favorite thing was that, like, my favorite thing was I saw, and this is fine, like, I don't have a problem with this comment, but it was funny for me because it was like, they were saying, like, there's such an echo happening, like, why couldn't the editor fix that? And I'm like, dude, I wish I could have, you know? It's not even about the skill set, it's just about, like, I don't have the time nor the patience to go through and fix that particular problem, because it would have been like having to take out somebody else's audio from a different audio. It's just, it would have been a nightmare.
It was something else.
But needless to say, they couldn't get their act together. They kept on having problems with doing the recordings and such. And then they kind of hit their stride. And then it seems like in the middle period of things, I would say that their biggest problem was the content dried up, right? All of the normal stuff that they would have done, or all the stuff they could have done, for whatever reason they didn't do. They didn't go out to their detractors. They didn't want they realized very quickly that YouTube did not want the edgy show that they were trying to sell. And so they kind of, I think, got caught in this weird, like, middle ground kind of a thing. What?
I don't think so much that.
No, tell me.
YouTube. Okay. YouTube, as far as monetization, yes, YouTube wasn't going to monetize if they were truly unfeathered or fetid in their dialogue or topics, whatever. Yeah, the chances of that getting monetized, nil. The fan base, however, would have been there, right?
Hell yeah.
I think
they should have launched this on Rumble or something, you know, like on Kick.
Okay. As soon as they got monetized, they should have set up where, you know, donations, channel memberships. They should have been doing the live streams should have been members only, period. Never ever put out so if you wanted to really, they could put out the edited versions or what have you, right? So that way that stuff's being monetized, so they're getting money there. But let's just be honest, right? At best, the CPM that you're going to get on a video from YouTube probably is about $8 per 1,000 views, right? So on a 10, so like, excuse me, like on 10,000 views, you're only going to be making, what is that? Like, is that $800? Is that right?
I can see Jessica glazing over with this math that we're getting right. You know, it's our first day back, and we're immediately getting into the math. I think you're about right. I think that's right. I think you're correct.
All right, so
You're correct.
The bottom line is they had more potential getting sponsorships or getting memberships, generating you more money probably than what they could through monetization. If they had and merch sales if they had marketed it right. And then like through donations, if they did a members only live streams and had people, you know, donating money there, I get they would have. I seen some hefty. I seen people donating like $100 at a pop, right? So, no, put the blue tape away. You're not taping up today. You are 100% going to be unfiltered.
Because I'm having thoughts. I'm having thoughts, and you're right. You're right.
I mean.
There's a few different components to this. I think that part of the problem is that, you know, there was no capital coming into this project. There was no money just put down on the table that this was what it is. Yeah. It was that, like, we're going to make this business as we go, which is fine. I mean, that's a business model. But because of that, there's just certain things that you're going to have to kind of eat, you know, and if they had like a proper social media manager, somebody who's like dedicated to that specifically, somebody maybe who was in like an actual producer, somebody who was in charge of like trying to curate the content and try to schedule that with everybody. If everybody was a lot more attentive on like scheduling and stuff like that, and maybe a little bit more on it inside of the group chats and stuff like that, I really think that this could have been something. I think that part of the problem was that it's like everybody wanted to be the boss, but nobody wanted to be the boss, kind of a thing. Maybe not that so much, but it was like, So how can I explain this?
So another thing is, like I listened to, of course, I woke up to, I guess this morning, essentially when I found it, because I've kind of been in and out of a coma. What would you call it? Kind of comatose state. And I woke up to a DM from D.max saying, with a tweet, actually this tweet right here. Let me just bring it up here on the screen here if I can. Yep. From the Lolcow Live official Twitter account saying, Wings quit Lolcow. Boogie left the internet for personal reasons. Thomas, he hasn't spoke to chat in days. The editor has LOL. Keem made this tweet. And it's just it's a screenshot of the chat or DMs. And excuse me, Jordy saying, I'm seriously done being called a pedophile over stream. Yeah, I'm quitting. Jordy left the chat. And the editor, Connor, saying, brah, lol.
Bruh.
So
I'm just imagining that, like the feeling of that. Like, I'm sick of being called a pedophile every stream. It's every stream with this stuff. It's just like, oh man, what did you expect from a show called Lolcow Live, where you were being poked and prodded at as the Lolcow? You know,
that was my whole thing. It's like they started this whole Lolcow Live thing when the Lolcows were like double thinking whether or not they wanted to be Lolcows anymore. And it's just like they come onto the show and then all of a sudden, well, we just want to be, we want to be regular streamers. No,
Jessica, you're totally right. I didn't even think about that, but you're right. If they wanted to do Lolcow Live, they needed people who were in the midst of them being prime Lolcow territory, right? Like where they're at right now in their phase is like them both trying to transition out of being Lolcows. They can't. Unfortunately, but I mean, like, that doesn't make a lot of sense. You're right.
They're trying to like rebrand and
it's dried up already.
But here's the thing. If we look at the original three, quote cows, right, which was DSB, who, he exited stage right real quick once Keemstar got involved.
Kay made a good point. Yeah, Keem came in and injected every part of the Keemstar show that everyone hated.
Yeah, we're going to get to that. We are going to get to that, Kay. But
good comment.
Boogie cannot help but be a Lolcow. I don't care how hard he tries, and will continue to try to quote not be a Lolcow. he can't help it. It's genetically ingrained in him, right? And we're going to get into this a little bit. The last thing that they really had on there that was of any type of, and we're going to get into how a lot of this stuff was just fictitious. It was made up crap
Yeah.
trying to sustain the show. But the last thing that they had on there that was actually turned out to have a grain. How big of a grain it is, I don't know, which was the whole Boogie's girlfriend, possibly getting into DMs with this dude and what was sent and not sent. But this is one of the things that Nicholas DeOrio brought up, and one of the reasons why he backed out of this about probably halfway through the episodes was they were making up stuff, and he's like, no, I'm just not going to be a part of that.
Yeah.
the thing that was that's perplexing to me is Wings. I know that Wings has his detractors, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know as much of Wings lore as I do with Boogie, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or even Tommy C for that matter, because he's quote the third Lolcow. I didn't see Wings ever acting like a Lolcow.
Yeah.
He had some moments. I've seen moments where people have shared out bits and pieces of strings where he lost it and, cried and broke controllers and this, that, whatever else. But that's a competitive gamer that got frustrated with things and had an emotional reaction. I don't, maybe I'm just don't understand, and I don't grasp fully what
I mean, I don't know. I like, are you saying like that he's basically like kind of a low tier Lolcow anyway? That Wings is, at least?
In my opinion, I don't think Wings was a Lolcow to begin with. I just think Wings had a lot of haters.
Because to be honest with you, I never heard of Wings or Redemption until the Wings versus Boogie fight.
Yeah.
Never heard of him.
And the thing of it is my understanding or premise is a person who continuously makes the same mistakes over and over and over again. There's a cycle. There's a repetitive cycle. Now, again, admittedly, I don't know Wings lore like I do, say, with Boogie, but I've just never seen that type of. Actually, even in this, the Lolcow was live for what? 2 months? Is that it? Probably ballpark.
Something like that.
2.5 months.
Jeez. Oh my God. Is that it? Is that how long it's been? My goodness.
That's it. So just in that 2 week, how many Lolcow cycles have we seen Boogie have in that 60 days, say 60 to 90 day period of time? How many Lolcow cycles have we seen Boogie have? Right?
Yeah.
I don't know. 2, 3, maybe?
And they like really overplayed the girlfriend thing, and it's like, bro, how many times are you gonna try to rope the girlfriend in to make content? It just doesn't. It gets boring real quick.
Here's the thing, because I see some people in chat, and I understand what y'all are saying. I see some people saying like, fake drama is gay, and I understand. I would make the distinction that there's a big difference between fake drama that doesn't hurt anything and doesn't affect anything. It's like, oh, you stole my cookie. Oh, well, my cookie, that was my cookie. It's like, that's stupid. It's like, of course nobody cares. Like, even if it was real, who cares, kind of a thing. And then there's a big difference between that and saying like, like, oh, my girlfriend's cheating on me when she's not. It's like that's a thing that will inform people's decisions. Well, no, I know that's the case with this one. I'm just saying, as an example, that would be a thing that you would want to take very serious, or that's something, in my opinion, that you should take seriously, because there's just why versus like, is it funnier to try to make that a joke? Like, I don't get it.
The other thing about it is they did the fake drama trope just 5 too many times.
Yeah.
After like what?
Do it every once in a while. Do it like 2 or 3 times a year at worst. Most
people stopped watching after what, episode 4, 5, 6, or 7, because then it just became fake.
I was one of the biggest hopeful for this podcast. For several reasons. I thought the potential for really good content was there. Entertaining content, but I also was like, okay, this could really be a really good opportunity for a couple of them on there that I knew that were could really use the money, right?
Sure.
Boogie being one of them, and Tommy C as well. And I really don't I don't know that much about Wings, but I was like, this could really be a really good kind of like a parachute or a golden parachute for Tommy as he's getting older, and he have that retirement money socked out there in the account for retirement stuff. Not that he's like, I'm not saying he's poor mouth now and he can't feed his kid or nothing like that. I'm not saying that.
No, but it's good to have a bag.
I'm just
anyway,
saying, just have money in the bank sitting there waiting so when he retires. And
yes, Kay, I did. Sorry, that's just kind of an important one. I feel like I needed to.
So
go ahead.
yeah, he did get paid. But that's a topic for him to discuss. I won't
Yeah.
Stay tuned, folks.
But
no, go ahead, keep going.
But so I was hopeful. But then after, I'll be honest with you, probably the third to fourth episode in, I was like, this is not really good. This is I was like, and again, maybe I misunderstood, but my interpretation of what was said or what was put forth, what was the media that or the hype around the show was, they were going to bring detractors on.
Yeah.
And have them go at their detractors. All these people have been going at him all these years. The only detractor that I remember that they brought on as far as directed towards Boogie or Wings was June. And June was like, I don't like Mr. Rogers. I mean, it was not. It was very very oatmeal-y. There was not a lot of substance there.
That's kind of what I'm saying. Like, Kay, I think is kind of dialed in pretty well because I've seen a few of their replies here, comments, and I think there's a certain aspect of this that was always doomed to fail just on premise. Unfortunately, I think it's one of those things where nobody could have seen this coming until it started going, because it's just, there's so many factors. You didn't think about it, like, the YouTube not being as edgy as it maybe could have, like allowing that sort of thing to be a thing. There is always the worry. I just think that two people are like, it's both the same internet as it was in 2016, but a different one. In 2016, I think you would have been able to find people to come on the show and make fun of these guys, no problem. But I think these days maybe it's a little bit harder because people have either, like Jessica had pointed out, they are past their prime. They're lolcows that have been past their prime, and so a lot of their like main detractors, I feel like, probably just don't even pay attention too much anymore.
That's not true. There's not true. There's people making comment. I mean, Keem. We'll dive into this because this is kind of getting.
Okay.
Keem fired up a live stream, right? And berated Wings and Boogie both. And this was after the quote Farmers episode, the one and only Farmers episode that we got, right?
Right.
And he's calling them all a bunch of nerds and how they were just doing the little book reports, and won't know why Wings and Boogie wasn't calling these guys losers, and just really, taking those two guys to task. This is your show, and these guys, because Turkey Tom has done, I don't know, 2 to 3 videos, I think, on Boogie alone. And he was just really kind of.
What did you expect? I mean, like, they're gonna do what they do anyway. Like, this is nothing different than they've always acted to their detractors. I mean, the one thing that I when I was doing my episodes, Keem would ask me, is this a good episode? And the thing was, it was always really hard for me to answer that question because it depends on what you want out of it. Like I don't know, maybe I'm just more of a subjectivist when it comes to art anyway. It's like the art is going to be what it is. The product, the content is going to be what it is. It can only be what it has been, right? What I made it and what they made it. But so like what people take away from it is like what they like. Is it over the top? Is it sensationalist? Are people screaming at each other? If that's what you want, then no, it's not a good episode. But is it interesting? Is it informative? And does it give you a closer look behind the scenes of these people that like are online personalities? It does. So I think maybe it's a person, like maybe part of this problem too is that it's always been kind of a an identity crisis within the show. It's like, what does it want to be? Does it want to be that edgy kind of like, no holds barred, like we're just yelling at each other and calling and screaming and whatever, like drama ridiculousness, like even to the point of like wrestling type of thing? Or does it want to be like a Mike Klum documentary, let's call it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, my opinion is it's like the podcast started running out of gas, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what it came across to me, and this is my own, I haven't really discussed this with any of my co-hosts or anything like that because I've just been out of pocket. But when Keemstar came into the field and started doing the quote live streams, that became to me just a new version. It was like Keemstar Show.
It's the Keemstar Show. Yeah, it's the Keemstar Show again.
And instead of having Salvo, he had Boogie, Wings, and sometimes Tommy on there. They'd have these different people call in, like Vito called in. The most recent one, or last couple of recent ones, the dude from Vegas, I guess, that supposedly, I guess, got Boogie's girlfriend to Snapchat and I don't know what all. There's several allegations there. And then of course he had what's his name? Ethan Ralph called in.
I watched that show. I watched that one. That was great. That was great.
How did that one go for you?
And I got so mad. I got so mad that Keemstar was stopping it the entire time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, stop cucking the content. You're cucking the content. You're cucking the content. Stop it.
I love that. No, I love this world.
Yeah.
Where you get to cuck real content. Like real content's happening right in front of you and you could make something out of it. But then you go, no. And then you make fake stuff. Like why?
So frustrating. I was so mad. I was like, I'm back in. You've roped me back in.
Yeah.
Right.
And then here comes Keemstar trying to like just I was like, don't stop. Don't stop him. Let them do it. Let them argue.
Let him cook.
Yeah. This is the Lolcow. Holy crap.
Yes,
and
Ethan was eating them alive, and they had been talking shit to Ethan on previous recordings, right? So let him on there, right? Let him have his.
Where where was this happening again? Which stream was this? This was on their stream, or was it on?
Yeah,
I don't think we can pull it up because it's members only now.
Right. Okay.
I don't know if they
see, because that's confusing. Because I can understand Keem being like, "No, we're not doing this here. Let's do it on the show." But if they're on the show already, I don't understand.
Yeah. Okay. So
I don't get that. I don't know. There it is. Okay.
Okay. So they just put out a thing today. They just put out a thing today. I don't know. Okay, but this is just like an aftermath. I haven't watched it yet, but this just I'll let me bring it up here on the screen so people can see. So
it's like 3 days ago. It's like Ethan Ralph versus Boogie and Wings.
Yeah,
but it's just.
But it's not. It's live. Let's see. Is it still up? Boogie King's Wings live.
That's the first one.
4 weeks ago. Yeah. See. They did a live where Ethan Ralph calls in, right? But it's members only, and I'm not a member, and I ain't going to be a member. If they, I'm just not going to do it. But they, like I said, they put out this thing here. They put out this thing here. Let's see. What is this? Is this the one? Did they put this out edited? Maybe this is the edited version of it.
Over on the Reddit.
Yeah. Okay. So. Let's see. Does this one work? Okay. Yeah, this is. No, but see, they said, but they don't ever have. Yeah, they don't even have Ethan. They don't even have Ethan in it.
That's so
it's edited out.
Irritating.
Yeah. Okay.
So they edited it.
That's
what it is.
Yeah. This is like the edited version. So they had Ethan Ralph on, right? And Ethan was eating Boogie and Wings alive, right? More so Boogie than he was Wings, because of the whole thing is this guy. I don't know what his name is. Doesn't matter. He got in with Boogie's girlfriend, and basically, for lack of a better word, social engineered her into having some, quote, interesting conversations. There was a offer of coming out to Vegas for a menage a trois.
For a what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas type situation.
There you go.
Which it never ever does.
Yeah. And so exactly. So anyway, he and the whole thing is he's marketed as his wife is like sick, I think dying of some, I want to say like she's sick, and he's trying to raise money for medical bills, things like that. And so the whole thing was he was trying to get heat between either him and Wings or him and Boogie, so he could do this like boxing match with them, so that the whole thing was he could make money. That's the whole thing. It was going to be like, you know, a battle of the Rotundas 2.0, whatever, right? All right. So, and it was all kind of supposed to be like this kayfabe shit, right? But then it really wasn't, because he actually was in the DMs with Desi. He turns around and he gives all these DMs to Ethan Ralph. And Ethan Ralph goes over on his stream, shows all the stuff up, right?
Of course.
Boogie gets pissed, right?
So okay, so can I ask a question? Sure. Is it possible that these that this exchange that Desi had with with this guy, is it possible that like, okay, so the implication is that this guy was joking. He never meant to try to actually hook up with this girl. He was doing this specifically just so that he could try to get a boxing match. That's what you're saying? That
was the premise. Yes, that was the premise.
That's the implication.
Yeah.
That's what they said.
Yeah.
So Desi, of course, none the wiser to any of that. Just like straight up was just talking to another dude.
Yes.
Okay, if that's the case, then I don't believe that Desi was a virgin and Boogie 2988 just like pop. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. So? I just don't believe it. No, I don't think she was. I don't think she was nearly as innocent.
She was a virgin and he.
Yeah, did you not hear that? Apparently, Boogie took her virginity. Was the story
that was revealed in one of the Lolcow podcast shows too? Yeah.
That just why would Boogie even think that would make his little. Bro, you're grooming this poor little girl thing. Even
right? Well, why would he even mention that?
Don't you know? I mean, that was another notch in his headbed. I mean, he popped another cherry. Come on.
Another.
Oh my God.
I don't know. All I know is there was only one instance where I thought, where I was like, did I just pop this guy's cherry? And I felt really gross about it. I was like, no, I don't like that. But I didn't.
I'll be honest with you, Jessica.
Didn't say it, and I just ghosted him and never talked to him again because I was like, that was just awkward. I didn't like that.
I feel like it's a little bit different for guys. For girls,
I guess.
Because for a guy, there's no question. It's just like, hi, hello.
Well, is it like I've never like I don't know. I don't know. I'm
just saying, you know what I mean?
First time he was a little too small to get there. So then I don't know, like
something occurred to me. I took Boogie's word for this the entire time, being sexist. I'm not being sexist. It's just true.
Sexist.
Listen, all I'm saying is I'm having a realization here that I mean, Boogie, it's not like he was terribly graphic with the way that all happened, and it's none of my business, I guess, anyway. But I'm just saying that, like, does he even know the mechanics of, like, not being a virgin anymore as a woman? I don't think...
Can he even really get it in there, though? Like, that, I still want to know that.
Oh, did he even pop the hymen?
Yeah.
Was he even able to do the damage to begin with?
Because, like I said, my first time, I don't think it was actually popping anything. It was just an experience because that guy was not big enough.
But there was no bleeding. But you can't pop anything on a guy, Jessica. What are you talking about?
No, I mean my first experience.
Okay.
I don't think the guy was big enough because there was no ouch. There was no ouch, and so like. Could Boogie even really do that? I don't think so. And then you got to think she's got such a small frame, and well, we know how big his frame is. And
the meat flaps protected her.
Like he was butt booty naked in that documentary, and we didn't see anything. That's how much the meat flaps hide it. I don't think that.
Darling,
I don't think that anything was playing pop.
He was Jay Bird naked on Twitch too. And
Jaybird naked.
he was jaybird naked on the Twitch, and yeah, the meat flaps. It was his censor
I
bar,
know.
he said.
I know that's not how that works, folks. It is funny though. It is a funny idea that like this broad has just been lying to Boogie this entire time. In hindsight, it's sad, but it's also kind of.
She's like back in the 1500s. She like put a little blood on the sheets prior to doing anything.
There you go. Yeah.
Like,
and she's like, look, there it was. You were my first. Maybe it was like a moment after. Oh my God. I feel so bad because like this is actually kind of like really fucked up. Like, you know what I mean? Like to do that to somebody is just like really, because like, can you imagine being Boogie, right? You're Boogie 2988, right? You're maybe even in your own mind, the biggest failure on the internet. And then all of a sudden here comes this girl, and then apparently you fall in love with her, and like it's like this whole big thing because she's really young and you're a lot older, and everybody makes fun of you for it, right? And then come to realize that actually she's been cheating on you, right? But not only that, she's been cheating on you with a guy who only wanted to get with her just so that he could get to you for your clout so that he could get money. So it's not even like he was that interested in your girl. It was just that she was not loyal. Holy shit. That's so brutal. Yeah,
that's man. No, I think that's true. That makes too much sense. Oh,
it's bad shit.
So here's the other thing I don't understand. Maybe Chad can help me because I listened to a lot of things today, right? So Nicholas Diorio Nicholas Diorio did a live stream. I think it was yesterday, maybe.
Yeah,
he keeps doing those.
He keeps on doing this. And he said apparently that we're supposed to get a video next week.
I don't. Anyway.
Well, he's on a good track record, I guess.
He was doing a live stream and he was talking about the Lolcow podcast, and he said in here, and I thought I knew all of the stuff, but evidently I didn't know jack diddly squat. But he was saying they had a really big major sponsor that was like a big deal, which could have equated to them a lot of money. And Wings fans blew it for him, or blew it for them.
Wings fans,
and he said you know what they did. I don't know what he's talking about. I have not
seen
Wings
fans.
But I guess Wings maybe went over on his podcast or one of his streams or whatever.
And then the fans didn't like it? I mean, that's interesting.
All right, so the only one that I know of, now, and if help me here, fans, because they did the one they started off around in December, which was the Meta PC. Remember, Boogie did that really horrific some sit on my lap.
Yeah. The Santa Claus thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And each one of them was supposed to be doing a different one. And then Tommy C did one, right? Where he was, a whole Christmas thing, and where he had his kid there and whatever. It kind of did a little bit of a play on the back in the day where when he was beefing with Keemstar, talking about, not being able to feed my kid or whatever it was, type little commercial thing. But then that was it. Wings never did one. So I don't know, but he's, I think the detractors went after the sponsors. Well, I'm sure they probably did, Kay. I don't doubt that for a second, because in this stream that Nicholas did, he talks about how Wings, he specifically names Wings fans or Wings detractors or whatever, is the one that cost them that sponsorship, and it could have equated to quite a bit of money for them. And I didn't
that was
know
one of the
that.
things. Yeah, like I said, I mean, I kind of alluded to it a little bit earlier, but that was one of the things that when I was in there, the Lolcow Live, they had no capital. Like, it's not like they had money in the bank, when they started the company or the business. So they were looking to try to get, I was hearing a lot of things that were like, when we get more, when we get money from sponsorships, and we're going to be talking to people pretty soon, like there would be a lot of that kind of language happening. So it's not surprising to me that this type of thing happened. What is surprising to me is that if a company tried to reach out, they were From the first episode, there were people that I heard that were interested in terms of sponsorship. And I just feel like if you were on board from the first episode, I don't think things are going to get like more hairy or worse for you, you know? So that is a very interesting, I wonder what happened. I wonder what happened there.
I don't know. I honestly, truthfully don't know. One of the things that I wanted to, when Lolcow, when the main Twitter account tweeted this out here, it talking about, it was any whatever, saying how Tommy C hadn't spoken in chat for days. Tommy C was live and streaming, and they brought it to his attention. Tommy wasn't happy about this, and in fact, he.
There's a clip of Tommy reacting to when. I didn't see this. This is juicy.
Okay, juicy.
Oh, have I? Yeah, the internet person. Tommy C hasn't spoken in chat for days. Oh, have I? Here, I just want to show you. Like Tommy, she hasn't spoken back to days. Okay. We're gonna play that game. Sure.
Yeah, it's terrible when people play that game, Tommy.
What?
Sorry, that just came out of me. I couldn't stop myself. Oh God, I might need the tape.
Put the tape down, Max.
No,
We're not doing the tape today.
No tape.
Fine.
No tape.
Damn it.
D.max is unleashed in this episode.
So anyway, Tommy's pulling up his DMs here. Boom. So let's see here. So here's, you guys want to read some DMs? Let's read some DMs.
Yeah.
All right, so this here above it, I can tell you this right now because he does go, I don't know if we'll get to it or not, but this was Boogie where he says, you see, got it? That's Tommy. Keem saying copy. That's Boogie telling him that he was going out of state this weekend. So he wasn't going to be around. That was this weekend. This weekend we're in right now, he wasn't going to be around. So he was going off the internet for a few days because he was going to do something. I think it was in Texas somewhere, right?
Yeah.
And Tommy says, got it. Keem says, copy. So then this here is Jordy says, so whatever this Wagner's trying to get my channel banned from all the clips and talk going around about me being a PDF. This is what I didn't want to happen. The dude has cost me $100,000 or more. It took years off my life, and nobody even can help me with him. Keem says he won't get your channel banned. I promised. I will get it back.
Oh, I want that Keem confidence.
He goes, so Jordy says, I doubt that he can. I'm just sick of this 8 years of bullshit. Wings 07 just said he was going to be on the podcast this week. I'm not doing that after last week with Ethan Ralph has invigorated the trolls. I'm seriously done with being called a pedophile every stream. Yeah, I'm quitting. And then it says Jordy left, brah, law, right?
So that was it.
That was it.
Wow.
So, but Tommy's showing here, no, I am engaged. This is all happening. I mean,
just because you're not,
it's like a one sentence, like, got it. But I mean, but he did chat in the chat.
That's part of a group. But like sometimes it'd be like that.
Tommy, there's more. If you look down through here, you see this here, this little one here, EP scheduling. See that?
Okay.
Episode scheduling.
Tommy goes on. Tommy goes on to explain this. He has a whole separate DM that's just him and Wings and Boogie. He said because there was so much crap that would be in this Lolcow live chat, he said you'd have the main thing, whatever it was, and then there'd be all this fluff stuff that had nothing to do with nothing. And so it was so hard to go back and find things that you needed. Anybody that's been part of any type of a group chat can testify, right?
Yeah.
If you're trying to hunt, you.
Oh yeah.
So he set up a totally separate chat with just Wings and Boogie, where they talked about episodes, what was going to be on the episode, recording all the. It was just kept to.
This is a little bit of inside baseball here, but I'd be very curious to know when they created that as a concept because I don't know, a certain co-host of his did that for Now Recording at a certain point. I just wonder if maybe he got the idea from a certain one-legged man. I don't know. It's just insider baseball. It means absolutely nothing. And it's a good idea.
A smart misogynistic man who only wants to do an episode for our show when he's feeling particularly misogynistic.
Well, there you go. Yeah, it's when he needs to vent it out. Anyway, sorry, not to derail.
Here we go.
Yesterday, I got it. He said,
see here. He says, "Yeah, I'll be out. Tommy and Keem won't be checking the group chat for a few days. I'm back ready to work on Tuesday and Wednesday, though. Would love to share more details. I would prefer to stay off the internet." Well, too late, Boogie. It got shared.
Dang,
so whatever.
dang.
Yeah.
Said he was leaving. I said I had it.
Yeah.
There you go.
So there you go.
Oh my God. Tommy's like, all right. Fuck y'all.
See, but this is the fake stuff that I don't like, though, right? This is exactly the fake stuff everybody's talking about, where it's like, this is problematic because like you're putting something up which is like reality, but you're only showing part of it, which is implying something like worse than it is. It's like, is this like, and there's no communication, right? For all of the messages in that chat, there was never any communication of, hey, this is when we're posting this, or hey, we're going to be talking about it like this on the Twitter. It's just like, so you didn't, I don't know. When I was there was so much thing where I was like, is this real? Is this not real? I don't know. Did I post this? Who posted this? I don't even know who posted this.
Hold on. I want to know what Mudahar said. He said, "Thank you for keeping your word. I will never..." What? What word? I want to know, Tommy. Now I have questions.
And then Colossal's crazy. It says, anything with you is good, and I'm doing well.
What? Yeah, like, are we getting another podcast with Colossal?
Who's that again? I don't even remember who that is. Do you guys remember?
He's a clown. He's a funny clown.
I don't even know who that is.
Anyway. Yeah,
I'll
so
send in Discord.
Go.
Hang on here.
Call me. Willie Mac.
He's leaving.
Call me.
Call me, LOL.
I got it. Yesterday, I got it. He said he was leaving. I said I had it.
Something I wanted to try to get right there. Something trafficking charges. This is something we should talk about and consider doing it earlier than normal podcast about. He was not charged. It's a lawsuit.
Hey, what do you guys think?
I don't know what that's about.
Is he talking
Marjack?
I'm just asking this because this was relevant. This is not an accusation I'm asking. Is that Ethan Ralph maybe they're talking about?
Yeah, it sounds like it maybe because I mean, but he wasn't. But well, no, because it says he what trafficking charges.
I don't know.
Maybe.
And then and then it's a lawsuit. Chat, figure it out and then blow it up.
Yeah, let us know your thoughts in the comments.
We want the answers. If you know, the clues are trafficking charges, but it's not a charge, it's a lawsuit. I think
Vince McMahon.
There was something. Vince McMahon. Is it Vince McMahon? It might be Vince McMahon. But
I think it had trafficking charges. Well, there was also
there was
Andrew
something.
Tate, but
there was
of course,
something else that where like they were like, he's not charged. It's not charged. He got I
don't. But anyway, but Tommy just laid bare. He just said, "Fine."
He said, "Fuck it." He said, "Fuck it."
He
That's
said, "Here
badass.
it is."
That I don't care who you are. I think that's badass to be like, "Fuck you. Here's the truth."
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah, no, I mean he's fully within his rights to do that because if they're going to play, fake, stupid, silly games, then yeah, go for it. You know what? Hey, I agree with that. I agree. If people play stupid, silly games, eventually you should expose the whole truth.
Oh man.
You know what I mean? Eventually the truth should probably come out from certain situations. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So crazy. Sorry, I saw a chat that was good. Medine says, Ethan Ralph doesn't have a driver's license. He can't even traffic if he wanted to. That deserves it.
I did this one tweet I thought was kind of funny. It says, Nicholas Diorio says, if the Lolcow is really over, Augie's roommate, Real X-Rate, took home the most money. Connor, then Keem, Tommy, Boogie Wings, free, me, Tom, and Muda. So
Man.
Toxic's burying his head in the sand, saying it's not over. Nick says, Winks could come crawling back for sure, but I think the show has been dead for a month. I tend to agree with Nick on this as much as I have to.
And it's just because Keemstar just can't help himself. He can't help himself. Yeah. He's got it in his head of what he wants. Like, he doesn't. The problem with Keemstar is he's not thinking about content for the viewers. He's thinking about content for him. What he is interested in, what he would like to watch. Well, and I'm sorry, Keem, what you want does not align with what the people want. And then he thinks too much about getting that green dollar sign. Bro, it's a recorded episode. Edit the stuff out. Holy crap.
So, two things. One, Xylee in the chat says, Max, I feel like you're alluding to some shit that you aren't saying. Ooh. Everything will be said in its time, proper place. It is a fine wine.
Right now.
It has been waiting and marinating.
Which is today.
But I wouldn't have said any of that. No, I can't do that. But I wouldn't have put out the call unless that was a call that was being put out. So yes, that is a thing. Yeah. All shall be revealed. NDA? No, actually, I'm not.
Well, then
I am not under
it all right now.
I can't do it right now, but it'll be great content, all right, for somebody.
Okay.
Since somebody asked for it.
So let's talk about revealed when.
We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see. I'm starting to work on it. I didn't know that I was going to do it until like today, so give me a minute.
I don't like the secrecies.
It's not secrecy. Okay, all right. How about this? An exclusive.
I don't know.
How about this? I'll give an exclusive for Clear as Mud, which is just the news that I am going to be talking about my time with Lolcow. That'll be the entirety of what it is, but it'll be a video, and it'll be put out anytime between eventually and eventually. So hang on tight. I'll be working on it. Trust.
So I guess thank you for keeping your word is what Tommy said to Muda, because Muda kept his word that he was going to look into the Mama Max stuff.
That stands to reason.
Yeah.
That stands to reason.
Yep.
Checks out.
I guess he talked publicly about it and I missed it because I'm stupid.
So Toxa says it's blown up fake drama that's one-sided. Nobody finds it entertaining, but the podcast hasn't ended. Wings will crawl back and Boogie will be back. Possibly, maybe, but I'll say this: unless they get away from doing this kayfabe nonsense that they've been doing, and
what
get
does
back.
Can we just pause real quick?
Sure.
What does kayfabe stand for?
Okay.
Like Korean pop?
No, I don't know what it is.
Something like that?
No.
It is a thing that comes from the world of wrestling, right?
Wrestling.
So when you would have two wrestlers, one would be, quote, the face, right, or the good guy, and then you'd have the guy that was the heel or the bad guy, and so they would have a fake beef, and they'd have all this stuff, but they really in true life could be buddies and would be out hanging out after the wrestling matches, having beers, and families could be having barbecues. It was called kayfabe. It was entertainment put on for the fans to entertain them, and you would think all this horrible stuff was going on when in actuality it was just a show. It's a show. Kayfabe.
I looked this up. This is the first time I've ever looked this up to see where the term kayfabe actually came from. So according to this random e-wrestling fandom website, wiki, whatever, it says that the term came from it's a Carney term, and the idea is that it's like pig Latin. It's fake. It's kayfabe, so it's pig Latin for fake.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So. Did you just call them carnies? I don't think that's culturally.
Well, no. I'm saying it came from carnies. Like wrestlers got that from carnies, apparently.
Yes. Like
why are you calling them carnies?
Okay. So
they are circus performers. Okay. That is the proper term.
I mean, yeah. Circus people of all shapes, sizes, creeds, colors. Yeah.
But anyway, so let's talk a little bit about Keemstar.
I can talk a little bit more than a little bit about Keemstar.
Okay. So, to me, and this is my personal opinion, when Keemstar started, quote, doing the live shows for the Lolcow Live, as we discussed, it was nothing more than Keemstar Show 2.0. That was the vibe that it had. That was what it felt like, and I found it very unenjoyable. And I didn't watch them. I had nothing. I just didn't like them. It was Keem was trying to me. It came across Keem was trying so hard to be a part of something again, right? Keem is a very successful man. It has been. I mean, you go back and you start with, the empire that he built online, Drama Alert. Did a fantastic job there. He parlayed that into other business ventures, other endeavors, and things like that. He's a very successful businessman. He knows business. He's had partnerships with people like FaZe Clan, and and
he's got 2 houses.
And he's got the boxing thing that he does now, right?
Which is really, I like the boxing thing. The boxing thing was good.
The boxing is fine.
Seems to work for him.
But and this is just my personal opinion. What it seems like to me is Keem is an entertainer. Keem likes to be in the limelight. With him being a promoter and producer in boxing, you're not in the limelight. You're in the back behind the curtain. You're in the shadows. The limelight doesn't come on you. You're not in front of the lights and the fans and the cameras. The boxers are. The boxer, before the matches, after the matches, they're talking to the boxers. They're not talking to the manager, right? They're the talent. Yeah. They're the faces. And I think Keem loves to be in the light. I think
he wants to be Vince McMahon, basically. I mean, that's, possibly, I think, what he wants to do.
Possibly,
and it's just, he's not in a situation where he can do that, really.
And so, I think he still has this desire to be, in front of the camera, to get that type of attention. I just don't, and I just don't think Keem has that type of draw power anymore. I think there was a lot of
talks when I was with him, and there were some things that it was an interesting dialogue, right? Because I was just kind of coming into content stuff, and I was getting very deep into the metadata and the analytical stuff, and that side of YouTube, and just becoming a lot more of a nerd. Peepaw and I have whole fucking hour-long conversations where we're just talking about tags on YouTube, because that's where we're at. That's we gotta and so. Exactly, vidIQ. You gotta get so that's my perspective coming into this, and then hearing Keemstar's thing. There were so many things okay, this will surprise you. There was for the first episode, I spent the same amount of time on, or not the same, but I'm gonna say I spent 3 hours, maybe. No, yeah, 3 hours. Let's say I think it was 3 hours on the thumbnail alone, because I had to do the thumbnail. I didn't know I was going to have to do the thumbnail, but I had to. And then it was an hour. It was a couple hours before the show was going to go up for the first time. And we had already slated, somebody had already set the date or the time and date, hey, we're posting this at this time. So I wanted to make good on that, because, that's me. It was just a lot of that back and forth of I'm just trying to make a thumbnail. I'm so long as it just so long as it just says Lolcow Live to me, I'm people are going to click on it, because that's what people are interested in. It doesn't really matter about the thumbnail for this one. But for Keem, he was no, it has to be it has to be so that people will click on it. And I'm okay. And I went through 5 or 6 different iterations of trying to get stuff that was I thought eye-catching or good, a good thumbnail, right? So much so to the point to where it just became I don't even know what to do anymore. And then the one that he ended up going with was the one that they ended up going with, and it was just all he wanted was just big, a big thing that said whatever the premise of the episode was. He literally Keem is. So all that to say, and a few other conversations I had with him too that are as interesting. I think he comes from he's approaching a lot of this stuff from 2016 mindset. And I don't think that's definitely not the world that we're in right now, right? You can't have a show that's that level of edgy and that level of niche, it has to be a little bit more expansive. Otherwise you're not going to be able to grow your fan base. I think what ended up happening was they ended up hitting a brick wall fairly quick, because the let's call it the market cap for the audience that they could have gotten, they hit immediately. There's nowhere to go but up when you're already at the ceiling of your niche, so they needed to expand, they needed to do other things, and they just couldn't. They just couldn't, because I don't think anybody was willing to. It wasn't that kind of podcast. What were they going to start talking about? Like social events? Does anybody care to hear the Lolcow Live talk about current ongoing social like probably not. So it's probably not going to be that. So what would it be? Well, it has to be Lolcow related stuff. Well, that doesn't happen all the time. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I think that, so like the thing is, like I said before, like they got them at a time where they didn't want to be Lolcows anymore, where they were trying to rebrand and get away from the Lolcow. But I think that if they would just like do a show and just talk about, just gab about shit.
Yeah, like, just make a podcast. It just needs to be a pod. Just make a podcast. Like that was another part of the conversation I had with him at some point too. Was I was like, why do we even need the video? Like I'm like, I get it. Like we want to be able to like zoom in and like make fun of them when they're looking stupid or picking their nose or something. But who cares? Like it's just like what if you just did the video so that it was just on live streams or whatever? Like it doesn't like. But it was like it was the conversations are really weird because it was like there was an expectation to a level of quality, but like no direction, you know, like he wanted something very specific, but it was impossible to figure out what that was.
Yeah, and Xylee said most Lolcows don't want to be Lolcows, duh. But the thing about it is, it was when it came to like Wings and Boogie, it wasn't just I don't want to be a Lolcow. It was they were trying to not flip out. They were trying to not like go crazy on live streams. They were trying to not do the Lolcow. So they were holding themselves back from it. And it became like they like we said earlier, like the first few episodes, Wings, did he ever Lolcow out? Other than when Ethan Ralph came on and fucking shit on him?
Well, okay. So here's a good example. In my opinion, right? The whole thing that happened with Mutahar and Boogie, I think Keem getting mad about Boogie going on another live stream and doing whatever, I think is like, I think that was ridiculous to me. Because like I get it, you want it to be on your own show or whatever, but it's promotion for your show. Who cares if you're like, because like talk about cucking content, right? Like there were conversations in those DMs where it was like, Boogie, Wings, do not go on other people's shows. You're not allowed to. You're only supposed to do it on this show. I understand why you would want to do that, but why not? Like these people they're still people. They're still their own people. Let them go off and you know, make like content. They can come back and then you can do a like a reaction to like whatever it was that happened. There's ways to like milk that content.
That was one of the biggest issues that Keem had when he was trying to find co-hosts for Drama Alert, is he was like, okay, you can be, I'm going to put you, give you this contract, but you can't make your own content for this amount of time. And like Keem is good at ideas, but executing those ideas is his where he falls flat. Like all his ideas are great. Lolcow podcast was an amazing, great idea, but then Keem stepped in and tried to execute it in his way, where he wanted to basically control it and it be his podcast. And it just he gets in his own way every single time with
it's just he's got to chill.
Idea. Yeah, chill.
I mean,
out.
honestly, just chill out. Like
their thing, like controlling the Lolcows is ruining the Lolcow thing.
Yeah,
like you don't control the Lolcows. You let the Lolcows
let them go
be Lolcows, and then you make content about them being the Lolcow, and then you get them on the podcast to talk about whatever fucking Lolcow thing they did. That would have been perfect.
Yeah. It's just weird. It's like trying to save their image in some ways, but then trying to tarnish it and make fun of them in other ways. It's just like it is in my opinion, it is completely a control thing. I don't understand. I just never understood it. I don't get that, you know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, he basically, they said, who said it? Trippy said free range cattle. And that's really it. Like he instead of having a free range farm, he tried to put them in little pens and say you're only going to be able to go out at this time of day, and then you're going back in your pen. And
Exactly.
and that makes it so unorganic, and it just makes, and the way he went about it, everything was so obviously like curated.
No, but see, but that's the other thing too. Is like I can appreciate, and this was part of the conversation with a few other thumbnail, or with the other thumbnail, that first thumbnail, and then the other thumbnail I had to make, where it was like, it's just like I don't know, like I find it very hard. Like clickbait is hard for me anyway, because it's like exaggerating kind of a thing, like pushing the truth to a point of like ridiculousness. But then there's like clickbait, and then there's like just straight up lying, you know? And it's like I just don't know how I'm supposed to convey that. Like I would much rather just show, like, because to me in my head, like thinking with my current like analytics brain, I'm thinking like, okay, so people click on a video and then they realize within the first 5 minutes that it's not the video that they wanted, right? So they're going to click off that, versus the people who may not click on your thumbnail because they may not like what you're selling, but will click on your thumbnail if they like what you're selling. So they will stay around for more than 5 minutes of your thing. These are things that I was thinking, but it was like really hard to convey that in a way that wasn't just like, you know, immediately shut down by just like, oh no, but that looks like shit. I'm not going to tell you why, but that looks like shit. Thank you to Zero Core of Hello Clear as Mud podcast. Hey dude, thanks for the $2. Appreciate you. Thank you for your support.
Thank you for your support. Do the thing.
Oh, I could. All right, fine. All right, I'll do it. There it is.
JFA.
There you go.
Don't, Jay. JFA, don't. Just don't.
What's he doing? What's that JFK doing, huh?
Just being a JFA.
He's
just doing. He's JFA doing his JFA things.
Oh, JFA.
Salted at
the IHOP as usual, JFA.
You know what? I thought it was kind of bring this up on our resident super artist.
Ren, I love this art.
You are trying to get me in trouble, sir. Putting my ad in with all the mix of everybody else. That means people are going to be looking at things. They're going to say, "Why is he getting the ad in this?" No, it's good art though, dude. Yeah. Great art, always from Ren.
So the question is this: Keem Cemetery, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we've got Baited 1 and 2, right? Because you had Baited and Baited 2.0, right?
Yeah.
And now Lolcow, or is that the Keemstar show? And
that might be the Keemstar show.
The Keemstar show.
Ooh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
One might even say Drama Alert is kind of dead unless you happen to go over to Snapchat.
There's a lot of graves in that cemetery.
There's a lot of graves in this cemetery. Yeah. With Keemstar shouting, "I am a god." Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a lot to really unpack.
Yeah.
In this picture.
Xylee said Baited, Keemstar show, and Lolcow. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I can see that.
Jessica Foss made a good point. Keemstar freaked out because Chris and Salvo didn't want to drive over because there was going to be a blizzard.
Yeah.
And that was the thing that kind of fucked up the entire show. He literally got
that's what I'm saying with chill out.
It up. There was a little bit more that fucked it up.
But honestly, like you literally like it's a blizzard, okay?
Yeah.
And you want them to go and stay at your house where your bed
I got the talk. Jessica, you're trying to get me to get it all out, so I'll get it out. Like, listen, I literally had the talk with Keemstar that everybody has when you get on his team. It's either implied or, in my case, it was emphatically stated to me: if you were at your grandmother's funeral and I call you, you answer me. If you are at your son or daughter's wedding, I don't care. If your firstborn son is being born, don't care. You're gonna be under my thing. Now I get it. It's like it's hyperbole and it's over the top or whatever. But Keem means it. Like he means it. Like he means it seriously. You know. So I like all of these things like that I had seen from a few weeks ago, like where it's like Boogie saying, "Oh, I'm taking a break," or Wings, like whatever. Like Keem might be saying okay, but I can guarantee you in his mind what he's thinking is, "Fuck you, you're trying to ruin my show. What the hell is wrong with you people?" I guarantee you that's what he's thinking.
He actually said that. Have you not seen the Twitter video?
That's what I'm saying. Oh, I know. It's hard for listen. I'm just saying this is the reason why I don't talk about Lolcow very often, is because like fiction and reality, it blends together too much, and I don't know what's real. I don't know what's out there. I don't know what was only said in the group chats. It's hard for me to distinguish. It's only been a couple months. You know, it's like Yeah. So it's out there. If it's out there, good. Then people know.
So stupid. It's so stupid.
You know,
and he ruins really good shows. They start out really good, and then he just gets something up his butt, and then he tries to control it a little too much. Like, Keem, back the fuck up. Back the fuck up. Let your people let the show happen. You ruin. I look, Keemstar ruins Keemstar shows. Okay? And the reason why the boxing worked out so well was because Keemstar was in the background. Yeah. And maybe that's where Keemstar belongs.
He can't actually can't actually like have it, like I'm sure the bits of it that he has his mitts on, you know, he can do the way that he wants to, and I'm sure it's within the amount of time he wants to do it. It's all on him. That was the other thing that was interesting, was how busy Keemstar was during this whole thing. He kept on talking about like, dude, I'm so busy. I'm going to need somebody who I'm going to be putting all this stuff on. So like, I know that that's a certain element of this too. So I can't help but feel that maybe Keem started this at a bad time. It's possible. Maybe he could have paid more attention to it if he had less going on. You know, there were some things that he told me in confidence that I won't say. But he had other big projects in the background. Yeah, I just can't, because that'd be disrespectful. I know. It's nothing important. It's nothing important. Is that basically he's working on another show, let's call it. And it's not, like I said, it's not a big deal, but he was working on other stuff besides just Lolcow, and I'd imagine he still probably is, because that show is not out yet. So I'm just saying it's possible maybe he just got busy. But at the very least, if you're going to be starting a show and producing a show and being the boss of the show, you should probably, I don't know, you got to get it up and running, get the people together, and then just dip the hell out. If they're making their own schedule and everything, like Tommy, Boogie, and Wings were in their own little, you know, private DM, I mean, maybe you just check back every month, you know, maybe once a month, twice a month, kind of a thing. Like, why do you got to be in the content? Why does it got to be Keemstar Show plus Lolcow?
Because he thinks that it's because he is like, I have to be here. I have to see it. I have to be listening while you guys do this recording, so that if, you know, you guys start doing something that I don't like, I can stop it.
Well, as far as I know, he wasn't there. And there was, and that's the other thing, is Keem never wanted to watch the show before it came, at least for my episodes. He never, for all the 3 that I edited, he never, he only watched it after it was already up. He wanted to be a fan of the show too. He made that very clear to me. So it's hard, because like, I don't want, like, because the idea that he's too hands-on is true, but I feel like if he hears that, he could probably nitpick it to say like, well, that's not really true, because I would never like even have an idea as to what the show was about until after it was done. It's like, but it's the preliminary like effect of that. It's the fact that you're cucking content going into it is the problem.
Okay, but now he's doing this live show where he's, quote, the producer, right? That they're doing live, that they take and make, you know, members only or behind the paywall, that they then cut up and put out to the audience, right? That's modified, edited, whatever, to where it's more palatable and more likely to be green.
Right.
So I don't know if it's just because of the timetable, whatever, that one of the other guys couldn't produce it. I don't know.
They probably had to have a thing up, and they just went with what, you know.
I don't know.
I mean, I don't know.
It's just, I don't know. I like to say, part of me is, I hope that it's not over because of the aforementioned things. But if it's continued on the same line that it has been in the content that it's been putting out, I probably won't be watching it nor supporting it.
No.
It's not good.
Like I said, there's so many people. If you just look at the comments, there's so many people that literally stopped watching after like episode 4.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, you gotta think about like the consistency of the views, even like the views just started dropping off like crazy. Except for the like, look at the views, Keemstar, to see what people want. Like YouTube tells you, hey, this
What's
is
working.
what's working and what's not working, and maybe, I don't know, take your hands off the wheel every once in a while, and I don't know, just let your cows be cows. Nobody wants to buy from the podunk farm where the cows aren't treated well anymore. They want to buy from free range farms.
We want grass-fed cows,
yes,
all right? We need organic cows.
Organic cows.
Yeah.
Hello. We don't want the GMO, okay?
No.
And Keemstar is mass producing or trying to mass produce genetically modified cows.
More CPM, less GMO.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
I agree.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
If we look at these, the very first one that they aired was 241,000. The next one was 104. This is the second one, wasn't that the farmers episode?
That's the farmers. Yeah.
And it got age restricted, and I don't know what all happened to it. So the views being down on that, or the views even still being 100,000. With all that in place is I think says a lot.
Yes.
And then we have the Darkest Secret revealed. I can't remember what that one was about, honestly. But then the
cows came back and whatever. Here's the last one I edited. And
then the 89,000 DSP. And then I don't know why we're this whatever.
But like, look at it. Then it goes like look at like their latest, like not the one from 3 days ago, 33,000 views on a 36,000 subscriber channel.
Yeah.
Now that's fine. That's equal views, but that just means that only your subscribers are watching and you're not reaching anybody else.
Yeah. Basically.
And that's what I'm saying is that, like, what kind of a podcast was this ever going to be anyway? Like I like the premise of it. I like the idea. It's not to say it would never work, but it's like motherfuckers, they thought this was going to be like Joe Rogan podcast. I'm like, how?
You
like how that was never going to happen.
You don't need some crazy drama in order to get 3 people in a room to talk about stuff. They can, like, the whole reason why people chose Boogie and Wings was because people like watching Boogie and Wings. Like, hello, they and it just doesn't have to be always drama, always crazy. Like, but I guarantee you, if Keem would just let go of the reins just a little bit, that Boogie, that it would happen, and it would happen organically, because
you got to be. Yeah, I'm sorry. You got to be comfortable with having like a 1 out of 10 video. You got to be comfortable with like having a video that doesn't do so well, and that's okay. And then you have the big moments, Alska in chat made a good point. I'm not going to read it out loud, but I think I agree.
Okay, so so Nick Mysterio did a live stream. When was this? 20 hours ago. It's 3 hour. He talked about a lot of different things. There's a segment in here. I did watch this segment. I think he has now subsequently cut that up, but he's actually put it out just about the Lolcow that you can go check out on his stream or his channel as well. But I took some notes, and here is the rundown of essentially what Nicholas's assessment of the Lolcow show and what the problem was. 1, Boogie is a horrible actor. As long as the drama was realistic and it had Boogie involved in it, Boogie being authentic is entertaining if he's involved in realistic drama. If it's not real, if it's this kayfabe drama, he's such a horrible actor that he cannot carry. Okay.
Yeah.
2.
He keeps on saying that parody is dead, or what is it? Shit. What's the name?
Dead.
No, not comedy. He says satire is dead. I think respectfully, Tommy, I would just say I think that's because you can't sell a bit.
Second, he said everybody in the show is lazy.
Wait, you're showing a different tweet.
No. These are my notes from this. Is from this.
This is the
stream.
video.
This is the stream, and these were the things, assessments, whatever that Nick said.
He said that they're lazy.
He said everyone's lazy.
Yeah,
that's
true.
Keem wanted to inject himself into the show.
That's also true.
He said essentially from the get-go, he wanted to shit can Tommy, and he did not want to be a part of that.
Okay, but this might be me. I don't know, but the one nuance there that I might say is that Keemstar only did that after, and I'm not trying to have a big head. This is just a fact. I think he only started doing that after I got out. Like he wanted to make, like, because as far as I understand from the conversations I had with Keem, he wanted to make that one video where he basically just talked about the very beginning parts of the Lolcow thing, and then he was in the background, and then they do it that way, like at least just for the show aspect of it. There was I never had a conversation or never got the impression that he was actually going to be on an episode. As far as I knew, he didn't want to be. So
what Nick said was that when DSP dropped out, they brought Tommy in.
Right.
Initially, people couldn't stand Tommy. The chat, you go to the chat and the stuff, people did not like Tommy. Tommy was very abrasive. Tommy was cutting people off. Tommy wasn't letting people have their thoughts. I mean, Tommy was basically Tommy from SFTP. That's not what, okay. But Tommy did adjust. Tommy dialed it back. Tommy started becoming what he really needed to be. The problem is Keem still wanted to shit can him. Nick talks about how he was pulling up after probably about 3 to 4 episodes in. The tides turned, as they were, and the fans were like, "I'm so glad Tommy's here. I'm so Tommy's doing a great job." Da 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 da. And so they would have lots of likes, up votes or whatever on the comment.
Yeah.
Have several tens to hundreds of up likes on these things, and he was sending them to Keem saying, "Look, it's they've seen that Tommy has changed, that he's doing better."
Yeah.
And he said Keem would come back with a screenshot of one in there and have maybe one upvote saying, "Tommy sucks. He needs to get out of here." He goes, so it was not, it wasn't equal, right?
I think I know that exact conversation, or at least one of those conversations, because that was a convo early on.
And so Nick was like, he said from get go, he said he wanted. I don't. If my only counter to that was if he wanted Tommy gone, then why did he ever allow him to be a part of it to begin with?
I don't know. Something about. I think something about Keem and Tommy's personalities clash so much that I don't think that Keem ever actually wanted Tommy in the beginning, but Tommy was the best option. And I think that the fact that Keem can't control Tommy the way he can control Boogie or Wings is what really bugs Keem about Tommy. And the thing is, Tommy is the perfect middleman for that show. He's the absolute perfect middleman for that show. And Keem, I just think that Keem just doesn't want Tommy on there because Keem can't be like, "Yo, Tommy, snap, let's go." And Tommy be like, "Yes, Daddy Keem." You know what I mean? Tommy's like, "Hold on a second. I'm busy. I will get to you when I get to you." Because Tommy's like, "I'm my own fucking man. You're not going to talk down to me." And Keem is like, "I want to talk down to my locals. I want to talk down to my employees." I just think that that's what it is. I think Tommy's just not one to get pushed around. And I think that that's the whole, I don't give a shit what anybody else says. I think that that's the reason why Keem doesn't want Tommy part of it, is because Tommy is non-controllable.
Yeah, well, there was that funny thing that happened kind of early on where I think there might have been a little bit of, and this is not behind the scenes stuff. This is just, everybody knows this. I think there was a little bit of tension just around the idea that Tommy was going to be considered a lolcow just from the jump,
Yeah.
So him kind of being that part. I actually agree with you, Jessica. Again, I going with our general thought, which is just that Keem probably should have just let them cook a little bit more. I think that like things would have settled out and it would have made sense. I think that everybody was getting their established roles, like, at the very beginning of it, Wings was more of the front runner. Everybody really liked Wings and the way that he was doing things. And then, Tommy made his little comeback, and Boogie seemed to be ironically kind of the I guess the heel of the show in a way.
Yeah.
So it would have worked itself out and it would have made for a decent dynamic. But I do agree on some level with I agree with what Nick says, which is that they were all lazy. I don't think any of them necessarily were trying to, I'll be honest, like, I don't even know how the shows came about. Like, I don't think that was even a conversation that would happen in that group chat. Like, hey, this is what we're going to be talking about. It was never about having a docket or talking about a specific topic or something like they probably had that for them or whatever, but it was not a thing just for like the show in general. Like, what are we going to do next kind of a thing that was never said. So I just think this has always been, a crazy train with no brakes and with no steering wheel. It's just, where's it going to go? Yeah. Hi.
There was two more points that Nick made in his video.
Yeah.
The first one they said was during the live streams, because Keem had this zero tolerance for any type of moderation, right? He wanted zero moderation going on. There were people who were actually being doxxed in the chat, live chat.
Oh, what?
And and he said he went to Keem, said, "Hey, we got to da." And he said finally Keem came around and was willing to have some moderators in place, during the chats to kind of deal with that type of stuff. The last thing he said after that second episode, which was the farmers episode, because it got hit so hard by YouTube, he said Keem wanted the videos over moderated, as far as he said cutting out words, even like saying shit and damn and things like that. Now he said the fans didn't seem to so much have a problem with it. He goes, I did. I thought it was over moderated, but he said the fans excuse me. He said the fans were kind of okay with it just being full of hoes, basically. So
that's the thing that's awkward about that, right? And again, that's the conversation that I had, fuck it. Okay, so fuck it. So okay, episode 1 came out, right? I did my best to censor that when I thought necessary, kind of a thing, as best as I could. But the reality was, in order for me to do the episodes in the way that I was making them, and I'm going to go over this in the video, but I'm very meticulous when I edit. I want my things to be very good. I do this for Clear as Mud when I edit. I did this for Now Recording when I edited and was over there. I even did it for Wham and Recording way back. I want to go through and I want to make it so that everybody can be heard. Everybody can be heard at the right volume. There's video involved with this. So if somebody's off screen, I want to be able to make it so that they're actually on screen. I would need to pull up the actual all of that takes time, right? And the last thing that anybody wants to do after they get done with editing a full video, like an hour-long episode of podcast like that, with a lot of those details in there, because I was trying to make the show as good as I can, is to then turn around and then say, oh, we need to cut out all of the swear words too. Easy ask, right? Except now you've got to go through an hour-long podcast again with a fine-tooth comb so that you can try to find every single little swear word, or in this case, what not only could be considered a swear word to YouTube, but just like other things that might be problematic that you just say in passing that you're not even like thinking about, right? Things like I blank women. Remember that? So like there's a lot to juggle there, right? So by the time that the second episode came around, I like, honestly, my thing with that one was like the farmers are on the show, Nick, Muda and Turkey Tom, like they're big time creators. They've been doing this for years on end. They know what the TOS is. So everything that they're, in my opinion, honestly, what I was thinking at the time was they know what can be said and can't be said. Yeah. So like, I mean, I'll just like leave it in. Like I would just bar on the side of like, they said it. So I assume that they're right. They're not the Lolcows, right? Yeah. So then when that episode came out, we got, it got age restricted, which was a huge cut to the video and everything. And then there was a lot of like, like who should have done what, who's fault was it kind of a thing, and that's why I ended up doing what I did in episode 3, which was the last episode I edited for them, where I had to, basically, if you listen to episode 3, it's like all of my silly, goofy nonsense that I do for all of my curse words and stuff like that. I think that was the last video I ever did all of those types of things on, because it was the last time I ever wanted to, because it was so latent with so many of those little things where I just beep, boop, honk, beep, fart noise, honk, beep, whatever, it's like all that stuff, like for like an hour. It took so much time, and it was not fun. And honestly, by the time I was done with it, I was like, I can't even watch this again to make sure that I've gotten everything, because just the idea of like sitting here and watching this now, it's like almost unwatchable, So granted, I probably should have just kept things silent, but I think it's a lot funnier in hindsight. I laugh at it now, funny, thinking back, for all of the silly, stupid, dumb noises. It's fun, so. That's my little story time. Hope you guys enjoyed that. That's not the whole story. I don't want everybody to think that's not the scoop, but that is a thing. That is an element of this.
But if you subscribe, where are you going to be putting this scoop?
This will be on my main channel. So it's at d_max or d.max channel. You can.
So if you subscribe to d_max on youtube.com, you'll get the scoop, and he'll keep you in the loop.
I'm sure I'll tell you guys. I'm sure we'll talk about it on Clear as Mud too. I'm sure I'll have to be doing a cycle for it, like a press tour.
We can do it after. We can do it after.
Did you see what she just did?
She's plugging for me. Is that what she's doing?
No. She did the Keemstar thing. Yeah, make sure you're subscribed.
Subscribe to Drama Alert and
I'll
keep you in the loop.
That's ironic. Drama Alert. So it is so hard to find your channel, Max. Every time I look for it, it doesn't. Okay, all right. Sorry about that, guys.
Let me.
I'll get a link.
I'll get a link, or you get a link, whatever.
Yeah, I'll get a link.
Yeah, because I'm not gonna get a link before you get a link.
Probably not.
You've got a probably better keyboard.
There it is. Boom.
Well, it's not necessarily about a better keyboard. He can pull up the channel real quick just by a few little,
Exactly, it's right there. I appreciate it. Thank you guys for your support. I am posting more content over there. I'm doing shorts and stuff like that. So thanks.
You got to thank you for your support.
All right, thank you for your support.
Thank you for your support.
I do live streaming too, but it's not on that channel. I'm not linking that one though. Too much of a plug for me. Yeah. So what's this here?
Boobs.
Do we want to get into this, or is this?
Boobs.
Yeah.
Penis.
I don't know what this.
Vagina.
This one here.
What are you doing, Jessica?
This was not what I thought it was. I originally thought but that's fine. We'll watch it.
Okay.
This is the episode where Vito calls in, which was the last live stream that they did, and Boogie had been talking about how well he knows the Black community.
Oh my.
He down. He down with the gangsters, as they will say.
He dated a Black lady in the early mid-90s. And so he's basing all of his knowledge on this time period. Anyway, so here we go.
We got a $20 donation from Optimus saying, I speak for the entire hood when I say we need a whole podcast episode of Boogie talking about Black people.
I do find Boogie's. Yeah, I think you have deep insights into the African American community.
I mean, I can tell you what was going on in the mid to late '90s in a specific part of the country, what the African American community
What kind of
was doing
food
then.
were they eating at the time? Like, what?
Not to be racist,
okay, dude. All right, I'm good.
Not to be racist.
I'm good. Fuck.
Oh, but he did.
What kind of food were they eating? No, not.
Bruh. Oh, Keem, no. He's too worried now. Oh no.
Yeah, that's it.
That's the worst version of Keemstar. No, don't be worried, cucked out to YouTube, Keemstar. No. Oh, that's sad.
Keemstar is too much of a slave. I am. I had to get a roll.
Are you our Mitch? You're eating now?
I wanted a roll. I was really hungry.
What kind of roll is it? Can I see it?
It's a Hawaiian roll.
Oh, Hawaiian rolls are the best.
We'll give you the pass since it's Hawaiian.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you the. Yeah, it's Hawaiian. Hawaiian rolls are good.
Yeah,
they're really good. And it's not the buttered kind; it's the original Hawaiian roll.
Mm.
You know what's really good with these?
What's really good with these?
You get the whole pack, right?
Yeah.
You put it in a baking pan. Then you pour coconut milk over it. And then sprinkle some sugar over that. Pop it in the oven. Bake
Yes,
it
I've
for
heard
like
this.
30 minutes.
Yes.
Boom. So good. So
Hell
good.
yeah.
Mm,
Hell
so
yeah.
good.
Okay.
But I only have coconut milk, so.
Mm.
But if you subscribe to my channel and you pay me or you send me a super thanks for $25, I'll be able to cash out for the first time.
Well, there you go. Yeah, so go sub to Pizzle too. I can't do that because I'm pulling up another thing.
Everyone knows that it's easy to find my channel.
Well, you know whose channel it's also easy to find because everybody right here is already watching already. It's Clear as Mud. So thank you to the Goblin Crew, Echo Tragedy, Joe, Mr. B, Mame S, Trippy Savage, K Huck, and Pigeon Salad. If you would like to be a part of the Pigeon Crew, holy shit! If you would like to be a part of the Goblin Crew too, please donate $9.99 a month, and you can become in the Goblin Crew, and you get your name shouted out at the end of every episode and live stream. For $4.99 a month, you can become a Mud Pie and gain early access to our content a day before it goes live to everybody else. And for $1.99 a month, you can become a Mudslinger today. That's just $1.99 a month, guys. It's the easiest. It's easy. Come on. You know, it's a good show. Come on. And you should be a member anyway, so
and
that
if you give me $300 million, I might kiss you.
Oh, hold on. Give me your PayPal right now. I want that.
Okay, well, Seth came and went, which is, you know, exactly what she does for the show too. She comes into our lives and then leaves us out to dry. $1.99 a month. You can be a Mudslinger today. Please donate. Thank you to all our members.
At least she didn't come in whining this time because we actually talked about her. So
yeah, because I got that out of the way within the first 5 minutes. Because now I know. Now I know how to get her.
We're actually living under threat of a goblin attack at any moment.
Constantly. Everybody is.
Yeah.
And you know what? Speaking of which, I love that Maggot was in the chat in the beginning, but not here.
Oh, she's still around. I know she's listening.
We know you're listening, Maggot. Stop hiding.
Maggot is the biggest chronic lurker in the community. Okay, she has mods in everybody's chats, and she's just lurking constantly. When you think she's not listening, that's when she's especially listening. You know, so yeah.
Gigi has a good.
Gigi's here too. Gigi has a good excuse though. Yeah.
Yeah. You can
relatively
complain, bitch, and then we'll hang up as soon as you call in.
Yeah.
See, Xylie's another one of those. Xylie's always lurking too. See, I know better, all right? I keep all my hot Xylie takes to myself. No, I'm just kidding. I don't have any hot Xylie takes.
Xylie is a lurker because Xylie catches me every time I'm talking shit. And I don't
every time, right? Every time.
Every single time.
Jessica, I learned that one like a year ago. All right. I was like, I'm not talking about this bitch. I ain't talking about her. Not on no live stream. She'll find it. She'll find it.
So much.
She's got shooters everywhere, guys.
That's right. She's got shooters everywhere. It's true. Bang, bang.
All right, guys. My voice is shot. I gotta get out of here. Let's wrap this thing up. So,
all right. We wrap it up.
Okay, how about this? Remember to keep your Lolcow teats dry, or else you'll see them in the funny papers.
Yay! Guys, thanks for watching.
You just